let's talk now about Horizon Forbidden West, The Burning Shores. DLC finally came out this week, and I have not got to play too much of it. I guess I could say I've played roughly 3 to 4 hours, and so far, I will say that I am really enjoying it. Okay, with what I've played so far. Uh, Tyler, I know that you're kind of like about playing it. Period. Uh,
It
so
it definitely reads as at this point, if I'm going to play it, it's gonna be later in the year when I'm like, I really ain't shit here. What
yeah,
should I do? Do I play a really old game or something? Or and then I go, you know what? Will be quicker than an old game. Booting up this Horizon DLC.
yeah.
But yeah, as the resident Forbidden West hater, I'm not like thrilled to go back into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have fun combat to me either. And it's like I don't know how. I guess that's all as you finish it. I'll be like, how important is this story? Like 1 out of 10, would you say? If I don't play this, I'm gonna understand nothing about the next game, or is
Hmm.
this like I didn't play the first game's DLC,
Neither did
and
I.
I'm pretty sure yeah, I didn't miss anything.
Right. So here's what I'm gonna say. It's if you have any questions, by all means, jump on in at any point in time. Like I said, I've only played 3 to 4 hours, and here the basic setup for anyone who doesn't know. Very light spoilers for the very start of this DLC. You have to finish the main story first. It takes place after the main story of Forbidden West. So if you already have not finished the main story, maybe skip ahead to the next to Street Fighter segment. Timestamps are in the description. So spoilers for the end of Forbidden West. Okay, takes place after we've beaten the Zeniths and all like that. Silence. He calls you up. He says, "Hey, come over here. Come to this mansion. I got something to tell you." He tells you about there's another Zenith that escaped. That escaped the battle that you all were having with the Zeniths at the end of Forbidden West story. And this Zenith has gone off to the Burning Shores, which is Horizon's version of LA. So he's over there and he's like, "Yeah, you got to go find him. You got to stop him because I'm pretty sure he's planted something on over
To
there.
be clear, the Zeniths are the people from the future, right? Or
Not from
from
the
different
future, but they're like
from the
the
past. Yeah.
yeah, who like are essentially immortals and they went off planet and then are coming back like all these years
Okay,
later.
that's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
Yes. So what this guy is one of them. I believe his name is Lauren or Lauren, something like that. I'm blanking on what his name is. I'm gonna butcher it.
Not that important.
Right. So Aloy's like, got it. I'll go over to the burning shores, find him, stop this guy. He gets to the burning shores, and automatic like there's like he has like these zenith structures kind of put up in some of the buildings there. One of them, and it's basically anti-air, anti-water, essentially weapons. So he shoots you out the sky, and then you end up meeting up with this Quinn, Seyka. The Quinn, they're the tribe of the woman Alva who were like remember the CO in the main story.
No.
Okay, well, the Quinn, they're
But
that
Alva
tribe.
sounded familiar. Man,
Yes,
it's been like a year and 2 months since I beat this game.
yeah. So Alva was the woman from the Quinn tribe where she had a focus, and her tribe was all about the history, and only certain people in their tribe could use the focus, but they're all aware of the focus and all.
She's the one that like Varl was like into, right?
No, I forgot her name. I know you're talking about, but it wasn't her. That
Okay.
woman was from the Utaru tribe. Alva,
Okay.
different tribe entirely. But this story revolves around the Quinn tribe. When you play it, you'll remember all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you end up meeting up with Seyka. She takes you to her group of people who have been stranded here in the Burning Shores because they were on an expedition. A storm happened. They got stranded here, and some of their people are missing. One of those people, including Seyka's sister, and that's how she gets intertwined with you and your story and your mission because uh, she believes that the people who might have taken her group of people is the guy that you're looking for. So you all are working together to try to find her people, stop this guy. That's essentially the base premise of the main story so far. And number one, off rip, I'm just gonna get this out the way. Looks great. Like visually, of course, Forbidden West already looked amazing. Burning Shores continues to look great. I'm really liking
Does
this
it
environment. We'll be in it.
does it look like 10% better? Well, like how much better does it look than the base game being PS5 only?
So I will say I have not gone up to the clouds yet. I'm pretty sure I can. I just haven't like flown up in the clouds and all like that. But I have seen screenshots, and even from the ground, I could tell like, yo, screenshots look dope. They look fantastic. They look great. I mean, not the screenshots, the clouds look great. They look amazing up there. Um, and the let's like I've gone by the Hollywood sign, not up to it, but like in the distance, been like kind of close by it. And over by the Hollywood sign below it, there's like lava, like molten lava on the ground and everything. And just looking it down, it's like, man, that looks great. And you have a Quinn boat that you can use to like sail around the place. It's like a motorboat essentially. And like using the motorboat, sailing around, it all looks really great, really good. In comparison to the main game, it's tough for me to say how much better it looks in comparison to the main game. I think it looks great, really great personally. Um, and I think I'd have a better answer if I was able, if I had gone up to the clouds yet and like seen all that stuff for myself. But from what I've seen, the clouds look really freaking great. They look really amazing. But there is a lot of foliage. Like the foliage detail is on 10 in this region. The water detail, like it's on 10 because a lot of it is all just water that you're sailing around or flying over and all like that. Like the environments again, Forbidden West already a very detailed game, and this is just more of that, so to
Oh,
speak.
yeah,
So
I mean, Forbidden West, for what it's worth, was absolutely gorgeous. Probably, arguably, maybe the best looking game I've ever played.
yes,
Doesn't
exactly.
mean
And this
doesn't mean I
this
thought it
is
was great.
definitely right. This is just more of that. So I don't know if I'd say it's looks better or how much better it looks, but it continues to look at least as good as the core game of Forbidden West, at the very least. Um, so let me talk about the world a little bit here that we got going on. So the map, it's smaller than the main map for the main game, of course, but
Yeah,
it's still, I guess you could say, a sizable chunk of map and all like that. And it's actually all the same map. If you zoom out, it's just a separate section of the main from where the main map is.
makes
Um,
sense.
but and you can fast travel back and forth between the two. I don't think you could do it at first, but I believe later on in the story you're able to. Because I tried to do it near the beginning to go back and buy something, but they're like, hey, you can't do that yet. So I'm like, all right, maybe I can do it now. Uh, but sizable chunk of map. And it's interesting because at first I'm thinking, okay, it's just what I see, right there in front of me. But there's actually like, I guess I'm going to call it hidden stuff to find because not everything is just ground level. Here in the Burning Shores, it's an archipelago at all. So not everything is just one flat level. Some of the structures, some of the land is like tilted out of the water, going up into the air and all like that. So I was flying around on my Sunwing, right? Just taking in the environment. And then I saw there was a hole in the land because the land was like it was one of those that was like sticking up diagonally out the water. And there was a hole sticking out there, and I could like straight up go ahead and perch the Sunwing on it. And then there was a side quest for me to do on it in there. I was like, oh shoot, okay, this is cool. So I imagine there's a lot more of that, like just things where it's not if you're just walking around on foot, you might not see it. Things might be like at a lower elevation or a higher elevation that you'd only see if you're flying around or if you're on the boat. Because if you're on the boat, then you might see like a hidden cave underside something, which I came across. It was a cave I came across. I was like, oh, cool. There's a little something in here for you to get. So I like the environments. They are again just gorgeous, beautiful. What more can be said about them? And I like also there have been I've come across one new machine so far. It's basically a giant robot frog and or toad. I forgot what it's called, but I like fighting it. And again, I'm not the best in Horizon. If I am able to
No
get my
worries, I suck
footage,
at it.
Yeah, if I'm able to get my footage working correctly, there will be B-roll up right now. Everything I'm talking about, just the world, the first mission, and all like that. And there should be B-roll of me fighting this giant robot frog toad thing. Uh, so off the sides of it, it shoots out these canisters, right? That if you get near them, they explode and let out like that sticky adhesive resource. And then it also shoots out these I guess you could call it like little flying wasp bee type things where you could kill them in one shot with the electrical arrow, which then explode and cause electrical damage to other things. So they shoot those off, but they also do like this really big jump into the air and do this. They land down pretty hard, and they constantly spit out acid shots, so like acid balls. And so you could take out the two acid things that they have. One is under them, like just under their neck, and then another is under their stomach. I think I'm not sure exactly what the trigger for this is, but they have this move where eventually at a certain point they're just constantly shooting acid out their side, and it's just like, oh man, this is a pain. They're like jumping around the place and all. They're a tough like robot to fight against, but I love their design. I was like, wait, what's this? I was like, huh, interesting. And then it did. I started fighting. It did that jump. I was like, oh, that's what you do. And it also has like this rope, this giant tongue that it'll shoot out. It'll just like do like three swings with it, or like try and grab you with the tongue. Uh, it's a cool design. I like the creature.
Yeah,
I really love
like
going up against it. It's a fun fight to go up against those, but man, they're in typical Horizon fashion. Horizon combat is not easy, so you will.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
You will get beat down for sure. So that's with the robots so far, the robot creatures. The new town is called Falls End. That's Seyka's new. That's where her group is holed up at, and it's cool. It has everything you would expect there. All the same vendors, but the vendors here they actually have a whole lot of legendary, like the highest tier equipment and all like that. I bought one of them, a rope caster, because the only rope caster I had was actually one from the very beginning of the game. I never bought another one, oddly enough. So I was like, yeah, I need to buy one of those. So I got one of those.
Rope caster was never one of the weapons I cared about upgrading personally, but
I like using them for those enemies where it's like, all right, you're moving around too much. I need you to stay down just for a moment. But yeah, I bought one of those, and I like their civilization. And the leader of the group, you meet him and all. There is definitely a person in their group who's like definitely a bit of a jerk and an asshole, where it's just like, I don't like you for obvious reasons. You're kind of a dick. But so I like that civilization. As for the character of Seyka, she's obviously a key part of the story. I mean, she's on the key art. She's Aloy's main companion in this story. And I really like Seyka as a character. She, I mean, it's Aloy realizes this during the story so far, but like her and Aloy have a lot of similarities in the sense of they both are kind of seen as outcasts in a sense in their from their tribes. Seyka for a different reason than Aloy. Like Aloy was straight up an outcast. Seyka just there are things that people treat her a certain way, and Aloy's like, I can relate because I was an outcast, so I get how you're feeling. But then even aside from that, like she's very capable. She's a very capable fighter. She is a bit, I guess you could say, headstrong, like Aloy can be. Like being with her is kind of like looking at Aloy in a mirror, except she's also like really fun to be around. She has a bit more of a fun personality to her. So I guess you could look at her as like a bit more of a fun Aloy to an extent.
Yeah.
So I've been really enjoying her character and trying to help her help her get the answers that she wants and all like that. And like she's trying to help me out. And we just hit a point in the story where it's like we kind of butt heads on a certain thing because there are things that we don't want to tell each other. Like Aloy doesn't want to tell her about Nemesis and what's going on with that. And Seyka doesn't want to tell Aloy about something that she saw, each for their own personal reasons and all like that. And I've enjoyed the just their relationship so far and how it's been developing. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it continues to develop throughout this story so far.
Yeah,
Not so far, so throughout the story,
that's
but
pretty interesting.
yeah, she's a cool character for sure. I think you'd probably like her. I mean, did you like the other characters, like the other side characters you had in the main story for Forbidden West? Because if you did, I see no reason why you wouldn't like her.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to Aloy, everyone's more interesting than Aloy, but
Very fair.
yeah, I definitely I think Gorilla's good at making interesting characters. What they do with them arc wise, don't always know about that.
Mhm.
But I mean, this character sounds cool. I don't. It doesn't really sway me one way or the other as far as playing it. But yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like an enjoyable character for sure.